Alex here. Just gonna do a quick video. I was in New Mexico last week and was able to go out there and do a little bit of record shopping. Before I forget, I'll leave a link to Stunty's GoFundMe. Please donate if you can. So I'd asked around, if anybody knew any record stores in New Mexico. Didn't really get a lot of responses. But then I realized there's a vendor called Go Slow Records that I bought from many times over the years through their Discogs store. It turns out they actually sell records also out of an antique shop in Albuquerque, which is where I was going to stay. So I was able to grab a nice little stack. Yeah, you can look at their Discog store. They have a really nice selection of, jazz, rock, some interesting things. And everything was really nice and priced too. First one I picked up was this record by Mal Waldron on Impulse. I think it's from 1967. The soundtrack for the film Sweet Love Bitter, not a movie I'm familiar with. All original Mal Waldron compositions, and his classic sort of percussive style on this track, one of my favorites here. Definitely check it out. It's not an easy record to find, it seems. But yeah, I'm really glad to grab it cheap. Mal Waldron, a couple other musicians, Dave Burns on trumpet, George Coleman on alto is the only one I recognize. Well, and Richard Davis on bass, and George Duvivier I recognize for sure. So that's that one. Next, a record from an artist that really become infatuated with, Billy Bang, the great violinist out of New York. This is on the Hat Hut label. This is called Distinction Without a Difference. I think it's from 1980. Really nice detail on this one too. Great photo of his violin and his pack of Marlboros. Unfortunately, it's the Marlboros that did him in. He passed away of lung cancer about 10 years ago. So just last night I caught up on a documentary on Billy Bang called Lucky Man. Absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend it. You can rent it for $5 on the streaming service Vimeo. So check that out. This is what I'm playing now. This whole record is just him doing solo improvisations on his violin. And it's just beautiful stuff. He's an amazing player. Okay, next. An ECM I had never seen or heard of, by Heiner Goebbels and Heiner Mueller. This is from 1988, kind of a later ECM. The reason I picked it up is because it features Charles Hayward, of course from This Heat on drums, and George Lewis, great avant-garde trombone player. In addition to Don Cherry. Unfortunately, there's only one Don Cherry original, and it's by far the best track on here. I'm not going to play it because of ECM copyright bullshit, but yeah, really, most of the record actually is not that great, I would say. It sounds very dated, but the Don Cherry track is outstanding. Got it real cheap, so glad to grab that one. Last jazz one that I picked up there is on this Amiga label, which I've seen before, but I don't think I have anything on that label. So this is a trio with Johannes Bauer, Anik Nazati, and the great Fred Van Hove, who I know played a ton with Peter Brodsman, and of course featured famously on his Machine Gun record. Van Hove, a piano player, and so yeah, really nice sort of avant-garde trios you can hear with voice, trombone, and piano. You have some more abstract moments like this, and others a bit more chaotic, as you might expect. Again, picked it up real cheap, and definitely something that would fit nicely in the FMP label. But this is a kind of a later thing from 1988. It's a live recording in Berlin. Good stuff. Next, a couple of stunty picks. You had just talked about a couple of these records recently, and sure enough, I ran into a couple, which I was not expecting at all. The first one, Sheb Mani, which he talked about in one of his live streams. Algerian music. So there's actually like a US pressing of this record called Prince of Rai. Rai is basically the genre of music that this is, which is North African or Algerian popular music, which really got a lot of popularity in the late 80s, early 90s. This one's from 1989. There's Shed there. Yeah, really cool. Nice melding of old world with some electronics, drum machines and stuff like that. Not sure if they say exactly what he's using here. Yeah. Synthesizers, electric guitar, electric violin, the jerbuka, drums, bongos, and bass, and Sheb Mami on vocals. Next, another one that so this is a record actually that Stunty sold at the auction. It's kind of very intriguing to me because it's kind of a much lesser known record by the great John Fahey. There's one from 1973. I think easily the worst cover now in my entire collection. The record is called After the Ball. The promo copy is in perfect condition. And what's weird about this is it's got tracks like this which are really nice. Certainly kind of classic John Fahey tracks, but also a bunch of sort of ragtime, throwbacky tracks, which they're not terrible, but I don't know. I think just growing up in the U.S., I think that sound is just become so cliche that even the great John Fahey, I don't think can quite salvage it. But yeah, there's some nice tracks in here for sure. Some feature slide guitar, and some have some kind of larger ensembles. So interesting record. Glad to grab it for cheap. And lastly, at least from that antique shop, really nice to find a record on the great French label, Le Chant du Monde. This is the percussion African percussion record. It's got a trifold thing here. So yeah, if you watch my channel, you know I love percussion records. This is like perfect condition. Very hard to find these French records here in the US. Beautiful trifold with photography of the different percussion instruments. Yeah, great to find for cheap too. The African percussion record. And then finally I went to another store. Didn't seem to be anything really promising there, and then decided to check out the classical section, you know, see what they might have had in there, and I found this interesting record. I picked it up for two reasons. One, it's on the great Opus 1 label, which has put out some fantastic sort of avant-garde and modern classical titles in the 70s. This one I think is from like 77 or so. And secondly, it looked like he was autographed here by the artist. And then doing some research, it looks like William Wood, who is featured on here, is from New Mexico. So this was, you know, something that, you know, he must have gifted locally. I think he was at the University of New Mexico. He was teaching there. Composition is featured here. This is just really good modern classical compositions, solo piano mostly, and then there's another piece with I think clarinet, a couple other instruments. So nice to pick up anything on that label. If you see anything on that Opus 1 label, check it out. And the artwork is always super interesting. It's like has a Seussian quality to it, but very interesting. Anyway, that's it. I'm out. Yeah, enjoy the. Maybe I'll have a little bit of footage from the actual dig. Take care, guys.